Hey everyone, welcome to UMaxercise TV. Today I'm going to show you how to do a plank or push-up position. Okay, I'm going to show you the proper way to do it, and then I'll show you a variation later on. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you're in plank position, I'm going to show you a side view. You want to place your hands firmly onto the floor. Usually if you're doing a plank position, you want to make sure your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulder are all in one line. You put your feet back, okay, as if your body's in a straight line, but you want to make sure you contract your core. You keep your core contracted in this position. So there's a slight bend up, if you notice, around the back area when you're holding a plank position. The best way for you to know if you are doing it properly is to make sure that your head is actually in front of your hands. Okay? What a lot of people tend to do when they're tired, they shift their butt up and their head starts to either line up with the hands or it goes behind the hands. Okay, when you're doing this, that's not how you do the plank. Okay, you want to make sure your head is in front of your hands. That's the best way for you to do a plank. The same thing applies if you're doing a low plank. Okay, you put your elbows down. Okay, your feet go out. Okay, keep the butt low, but you keep that core contracted. You don't want to sink the hip in, and you don't want to be all the way up. You want to stay right here. This is where you want to be when you're doing a plank, okay? So high plank, you're here. Low plank, you're there, okay? That's how you want to do it. Make sure you know. Let me show you the side view. The front view. So when you're doing the front view, same thing. You can place your hands firmly. Make sure your wrist, elbows, and shoulders are all in the same line. You go up, keep your body contracted. Make sure to take deep breaths if you're holding the plank position, and make sure your head is in front of your hands. Not lined up with it and not behind it, but in front of your hands. Okay, that's how you know that you're doing the plank. The other thing that you also want to keep in mind is that if you're doing a push-up, if you're doing different types of push-ups, two of the main push-ups that we tend to see is push-ups where people keep their elbows tucked in. So when you're doing a push-up, you're doing a push-up like this, elbows tucked in, right? Or the one that a lot of other people tend to do is they put their hands out and they do push-ups with their elbows out, which is your hands are double shoulder width apart, and they look like this, elbows out, just like that, just like that. If you want to know how to do the push-up, you breathe in as you're going down, breathe out when you're coming up. Same thing applies if you're doing it with your elbows tucked in. Okay, that's how you do push-ups, and that's how you form a plank position. Here's a variation for how to do the push-ups. If you're having trouble with holding your body up for long periods of time and you're not able to do that position, here's a quick variation. You can do it on your knees. Now let me show you how it's done first, okay? You're gonna go, same thing, into position, wrist, elbow, and shoulder are all in one line. Okay, you're gonna take your knees, you're on your knees now, bring your legs off the floor if you want. Lean your body forward. Best thing to do, make sure your head is in front, and then you can do push-ups that way. Elbows tucked in or elbows out. Okay, that's how you do it. You can cross the legs behind you, okay? See how my knees are and how my leg is? It's just as if it's in the same position. You want that straight line, okay? Now what you don't want to do is, you don't want to do this. You don't want to bring your knees up like this and try to do push-ups. That's not the proper way to do push-ups, because right now you're not engaging your core. You're putting all that pressure on your legs. So what you want to do is walk your knees out. Okay, now you have your core engaged. You keep your head in front of your hands while you do the push-up. Okay, you can get just as much of a workout as if you were having your knees off the floor. Okay, but you keep that same line, straight line, whether the knees are on the floor or the knees are off the ground. You want to make sure it's the same idea. Okay, if you guys have any other questions or concerns, you can always send me a message and I'll be sure to get back to you. UMaxercise TV.